Welcome in. We are back again with episode 2 in our Project 2020 Artist Series. I'm DJ Skee, live from Los Angeles. We are pushing it all the way to the East Coast by way of Philadelphia. We're making a quick stop in NYC at Bleecker Trading with the homie King Saladeen. What up, homie? How are you?
What's up? What's up, man? What's up, everybody? How y'all doing, man? It's an honor to be here.
Man, we're excited to have you here. This project is so incredible because what Project 2020 does is really bring all these different artists and all these different worlds together as you guys reimagine some of the most iconic baseball cards of all time. I mean, all these legends you guys have touched. For those that aren't familiar, 20 artists do 20 cards, and it's all for 2020. And the special thing is, what did you guys just drop? You guys got it's been such a success. You guys decided to take it bigger. There are already pieces of art, but there's a brand new drop that you can get on Topps.com right now that is
the prints. So pretty much the cards into wall art. And it's just like, it's something I thought of when the project first started. I was like, I'm used to doing things on a certain scale, and then I had to do them very small. And I was thinking, like, if they made prints, this would
so fire too. You
shout
can
out
grab
the
them on
Topps.
Yeah, and we're actually going to give away one on the stream tonight. So,
oh really?
Yeah, we're giving one away. Topps hooked us up
Okay.
tonight.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Shout out to Topps again, man.
We're really excited. Anyways, let's get into it. So I want to talk about your background a little for those who may not be familiar. There's a lot of crossover here, right? Like there's a whole bunch of people from the card culture getting into it. There's people from the art culture getting into it. It's an emergence of all these different worlds. But I want to talk about your story because it's unique. You really, you're from West Philadelphia, and you started off actually, as a pretty good athlete.
Yeah, well, that's why this whole project is so amazing to me too, because like when I played sports, I had to like hide that I did art. Not hide, but nobody could really understand what I was talking about. So it's just unreal, man. So, I started off as an athlete, but I always loved art. And it was just something that I never let go of, you know what I'm saying? Through the ups and downs and different jobs and just growing up in life. So I don't know, man. It's just something that I stuck with, and I just risked it all for almost.
Yeah, man. And you actually ended up, getting in an accident, right? And that stopped you from pursuing your dreams. Kind of, it slowed you down again for a second and made you kind of take art a little more serious.
Yeah, well, pretty much what it did was I was in a bad car accident with my mom when I was 15. So in the midst of that, when you're 15, you just run around doing anything that, your friends is doing, you almost doing. So it gave me time to really slow down and just figure out like what I wanted to do other than basketball, what I wanted to do other than sports, and just, hanging out all day. And that really tied me back to my art. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't have nothing but time on my hands. I was in a hospital for maybe a month or two. Then I had to rehab at my grandmother's house for about a month. So I was really, no, longer than a month, but I was really just tapping in with myself other than just going with the flow. So that was a blessing in disguise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And it put you on. So you decided to focus on art then. It obviously was the right decision. How do you make it, especially because there's a lot of artists and a lot of kids out there that are inspired by all the stuff that you do. What was your first big break as an artist?
It's kind of hard, man, but I'm gonna say the first big break was honestly me just quitting my job, because that gave me the opportunity to have big breaks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I quit my job in 2011, and I was like, I was working with kids, doing a whole bunch of other stuff that, it was pretty cool, but it wasn't my calling. You know what I mean? So I pretty much put it all on the line and just said, I don't know how I'm gonna get paid. I don't know how I'm going to do these things, but I know me, I'm going to make relationships with different people. And then if this is meant to be, it's going to happen. I can always try to go get a job or always try to do something regular later on. I had to dream for a certain amount of time to make this happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's a long story, man. But like, I say my big break was literally when I gave myself a shot, and then things just started trickling down, bro, like crazy.
That's incredible advice for all the young kids out there. And no matter what field it is, whether it's art, whether it's music, whether it's sports, you have to go all in to bet on yourself. If you're ready, like a calculated bet, like I'm sure at that point you kind of knew it was that time. So you didn't just like do it like, oh, I like art, let me get into this. Like you'd already put in work behind the scenes to prep yourself.
It was years and years of me selling t-shirts out my trunk and selling art and different things like that. But it was like, at some point in time, like you were just saying, you have to give yourself that shot to meet the right person, to be in the right space at the right time for it to even work. So shout out to PCNY. You know, I came to New
Yeah.
York. It's just a whole lot, bro. It's a whole major story.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are live right now with King Saladeen. It's going down. Topps 2020. We got a bunch of giveaways. Let's kick it off. Let's give away one of these Project 2020 cards in the
Mm,
chat. I think we should give
mm,
it to. Let's see who the last comment is from. SP Roll 05, who says King Saladeen does amazing work. You're gonna get the first. We got 20
wow.
giveaways tonight, so we're gonna kick it off with you right
20?
there. 20 cards and a couple prints too.
That's
So.
crazy. That's crazy.
And we're also going to be doing this as a podcast and on demand on YouTube later. So we're going to save a couple for that. So shout out to everybody that's rocking with us right here and through the whole Card House Network, live from the homies at the brand new Bleecker Street or Bleecker Trading Company in New York City, which is an incredible shop. And they're selling all those things. Let's dive in and talk about the cards now. So I want to know how this whole project came together. Is we just have Mr. Cartoon up here, and to me, it was still amazing that a brand like Topps jumped in. And these are like, when you take it back at the history of cards and you're looking at the rookie cards of 20 of the greatest baseball players ever,
Yeah.
man, it's tough to touch those. And they took on a big risk letting anybody like mock that up. How did this whole project come together? What was your first impression when they hit you to be involved in this?
I'm gonna just keep it real, Skee. Like when I first got the initiative, like, yo, do you want to do something with Topps baseball cards? I don't collect cards. I've never been really into it. So I was kind of like, well, how do I do on this scale? How do I get it to this? That was my biggest thing in my brain. So I was kind of nervous, honestly. And I didn't want to disrespect the culture because I'm not from it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a big baseball fan. I never played baseball just because I'm from the hood. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't too many baseball fields around. But other than that, you know, I love the sport. I will watch it sometimes, but my initial was like, him, you can't mess this up. You gotta really kill these cards. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so out of my lane that I'm like, this can be great or bad. And I'm just, you know, I'm optimistic. So I'm always gonna say it's gonna be great. You know what I mean? So the biggest thing was transferring how I was doing my art for this product. You know what I mean? For this project, my bad. So that's pretty much what it was, man. It was just how I was going to translate my art and still have it look like King Saladeen, not like it just looks like some art. You know what I mean? So that was the biggest thing. But after that King Griffey card, it was over. It was a wrap. I was like, I got this.
That's not a bad one to touch, too. One of the most iconic just names of the generation. And I mean, the people that you've had, and I'm gonna pull out some of mine from the stash of stuff that I've just been ordering, not even stuff that's here because of the stuff. I've been ordering. Come on, man. I'm a fan of the project and your work in general anyway. So it's an honor to have you up here. I want to talk about your kind of style and how you approach each card, because I noticed in the beginning they all kind of had similar assets and now they're all totally different. And so I want to talk about the evolution, because you guys are working on these as they come out. It's not like you did them all at once and they've just been sitting there. They're kind of a work in progress, which is so cool because you get to see the evolution from card 1 to card 20.
Yeah, it's been kind of crazy. So when I first started working with the cards, it was like I was just wrecking my own brain. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God. So when the first card came out, the King Griffey, and it, you know, I liked how it looked, you know what I mean? But it was like 15 variations of this card. So we went out with the one that I felt was most, you know, good for the brand, good for Topps. It wasn't too over the top, you know what I mean? So that was my biggest thing. And then after that, I think I just started getting the hang of them and then doing more research too. That was one of the biggest things too. I'm not a big baseball fan. So me and my team, we would sit up and do, you know, watch YouTubes for hours about just everybody I was working with, you know what I'm working on. So as you learn more, as you're watching more, as you learn their personalities, and these dudes is like superheroes. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That it made it easier. It just made it easier. And then, you know, already going with the color schemes of the teams, it made it a little more easier for me.
Yeah, man. No, it's been an incredible run. I want to pull up a couple of those, and you've got so many dope ones. I want to talk about the print, because the print is an icon that you guys blown up for the first one, Derek Jeter. But I'm gonna go through some of my collection. I just want to have you kind of talk through the inspiration on some of these. So for people that aren't familiar, Topps 2020 again. Artists get to redesign some of the most iconic baseball rookie cards over the last, you know, century in essence. And This one is really dope. Let's start off with the Roberto Clemente.
Roberto Clemente.
You can see right
Okay.
here.
Okay. So the inspiration behind that card
Yeah.
was, it was sacrifice pretty much. You know what I mean? The man was just beyond baseball. All of them would be beyond baseball. You know what I'm saying? But for the way he passed away, the way he gave back to his, his people, his country, that was just what I wanted to really represent. And I wanted to put like some type of paradise vibe in the card. Just, just like, he made it to paradise from all the amazing things that he done for his people. He entertained the world with his, with his talent. And that was really the inspiration behind that. You know what I mean?
It's such a dope card too, and so cool to see those designs and the stories behind them, especially like it really, even for me, even though I'm familiar with all these guys as we are as baseball fans, it really
Right.
allows you to go back and puts a whole new spin to a whole new generation who might not be familiar with Roberto Clemente and what he did for
Definitely.
not just Latin baseball, but baseball in general, and how he passed away. And that's why
Right.
the inspiration and the concept on these cards is so dope, dude.
Yeah, and me personally, I learned a lot about him. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it's a lot of schools that are Roberto Clemente in Philadelphia that I've
Yeah, man.
walked past and seen my whole life, but I've never really put two and two together because I'm not, a big baseball. Well, I wasn't a big baseball fan. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So
And that's what's so dope about this project. Even if you're not the biggest sports fan in the world, it's just like they're pieces of art and things that you can
definitely,
hang. And that's what's so interesting that's kind of happened in the whole sports card industry and the sports card game, especially this year. So as
yeah.
we all know, the sports card scene is absolutely exploding. Did you have any idea of how big it was or how big it was going to get when you launched this project? Because
Nah.
I firmly put like it was the perfect storm, but Project 2020 is one of those key things that really set this whole scene off the way that it did.
Yeah, and the Project 2020 actually it helped me out too during the pandemic and everything that was going on in this whole time. So I think it was great for other people, especially if it was great for me. And it just kept me busy. It kept me, wanting to learn about these players and getting, it's a whole new lane for me. So I just wanted to be on top of it because if I get into anything, I'm going to do my research. I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm not going to just be like, oh, a new card's coming up. Let me just, do my thing or whatever. It's just like I really want to learn about these players. I want to learn about, how they were the best, shortstop or the best hitter or the best whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
just like just really the research behind it, man. Seriously.
Yeah, man. And you've gotten to learn so much about a lot of these players. Do you now have a favorite out of all 20? I mean, we're wrapping up. We're approaching the end of this series, which is a shame. And
Right.
is there one player now that really stands out as a favorite to you? And it might have been somebody that you've just learned about through doing the research and working on their card that you earned a level of respect or learned something that you didn't know.
Uh, I'm gonna say Bob Gibson, rest in peace.
And that's
And
crazy because I was actually going to talk about that him being the most underrated player I think in the series, and he passed away in the middle of this project, and I got
yeah.
his card here. It's one of my favorite ones that you did, so I'm
Oh,
glad you said that.
I love that card. He's the game changer, man. Anytime you can change rules in the game, come on, yo. That's
Yeah,
you a problem.
and that's one of those situations. It's a great point because Gibson, like, look, we weren't alive in his prime to watch him play like that, but
Right.
seeing all the dedications, like I always knew he was a beast. Part of my family grew up Cardinals fans, so they were
Mm,
always big on him. But once he passed away, I was able to really dig in and see the tributes and see how bad that dude was on the field, right? And
crazy.
like even how you put what I love, one of my favorite details on your card is the 1968 year of the pitcher, how you wrote that and put that at the bottom and just the color scheme. Let's talk about the design for the Bob Gibson card then.
The design for the Bob Gibson was what came would not what hit me right in the face was that pink. So, I've done a lot of charity for cancer and all kinds of things like that. So that's the first thing that hit me was that certain type of pink and why
Yeah.
they put that pink or so I was like I want to implement that pink into the card but I don't want to go too overboard, you know what I mean? So it was just a dope card from the beginning. And a lot of the cards in the beginning, I was kind of going like my own direction until I started, hearing feedback from people that are really collecting these cards, really getting these cards graded, really like, yo, could you keep it more to the authenticity of the card instead of like go super left, just make it like your type of card, but the same card. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, so after going back and forth, I'm like, okay. So I learned how to make these cards my own card, but keep the same look. So that was one of the first cards that I was like, you know what? Let me keep this 80% original, but I'm going to add my twist to it. So I don't know, man. That was one of the cards that I really love. I really love that card.
Incredible.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Such an incredible card. And yeah, the pink really stood out too. And it's just iconic. And I love the signatures and how you sign. Like it's just such a ill card. We got a bunch of cards to give away. Let's go ahead and give another one. We're going to give away to somebody on, let's see, what should we do? We'll do 2 giveaways. One, let's give one to Eric Sosa on YouTube, who's live in the chat over on YouTube. And let's see who talked about Bob Gibson here, since we're talking about him in the Twitch chat. People love that. Let's see, Wheeljack76, who said Gibson was a great card. And he also says that your Mays card is one of his favorites.
I was going to say Mays after. Thank you so much, man. But I was going to say that too. Willie Mays, like when I started doing a lot of research, Willie Mays was one of the dudes that I was like, I just connected with him. He was like so like he was just a funny dude and so confident. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, then he started talking about business, how he, got into the business world. And I was kind of like, okay, I really regulate with him. Like, me and him connect. So that's what I was going to say next.
Willie was the man. I mean, that's what's so crazy. I mean, these aren't just like little cards that you're doing. These are the greatest baseball players of all time. And it's so dope to see them come together and see this whole project come together. Was there any card that was a big challenge for you, or that you had, that it took you a minute until it really clicked in from a design perspective and a story perspective? Which one was the most difficult looking back in the process, or took the longest, I should say?
Jackie Robinson.
Ooh, okay. I explain why.
Just because it was just like what he meant to the game, what he meant to so many people, you know what I mean? Like the sacrifice that he had to do, that he had to go through just to be able to play and show his talent on that level, you know what I mean? And then I actually went back and talked to my grandpa about how, Jackie inspired him, because he was 16 years old when, the merger happened, when he was able to play, you know what I'm saying? So I just did a lot of research on it, man. And he was just telling me like it was a lot of people. He was saying to me, it was a lot of people better than Jackie, but Jackie was the only one that can put up with all the stuff that he had to go through and still be able to play. So I was just like, how do I make this card powerful and dope? That was my biggest thing. Cause it's not hard to make it dope, but I wanted to make it a feeling too. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that came from with the Jackie. But it took a while because I went through like 15, 16 different things. And I'm like, this is the one. Then like 2 days before the drop, I'm like, I hate this one. so it was definitely deep, man. So Jackie Robinson was definitely the hardest to me.
Man, when this is done, you got to share some of those original like proof concepts and stuff so the world can see after. I know you got some.
I got them all too.
I know you got some heat in there. And when you're touching, and that's one of the challenges too, right? Like you're touching, like that's Jackie Robinson. You've got to do that. And it's kind of the same with all these guys, right? Like there's so much pressure to do these right because it's iconic. And especially because the hobby is so, like if you mess this up or somebody didn't do something right, like they're gonna be on it, right? Like it's such a personal thing to those insiders. So
Skee, I'm so nervous. I got like 4 more cards left, and I'm just like, what am I going to do to outdo these other cards that I've really spent so much time? Like, oh my god, I think Rivera's next.
Ooh, that's gonna be killer.
He's the only one with clothes on, and I'm like. Okay, what am I, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's a tough one too. That's a tough one too.
It is. It's been interesting too, because you know what the approach is from you and from a lot of others too, is some of the cards are totally flipped, right? Like there's some people that might take Mariano and just done a different card and they're not taking that image, but the hobbyists love that pure. I mean, it's such an interesting card. Like it's almost laughable when you look at it, right? Yeah. Like he's in the goofy.
I thought about that too, but I was kind of like, I like the card though. You know what I'm saying?
It's different, bro.
He's like whatever year that was, he was super fly. You know what I mean? So I want to kind of just put some drip on him. You know what I mean? Just upgrade the drip a little bit. But other than that, That's a dope card. It's kind of hard. I'm not going to switch him though. I don't really want to switch the players up like with him playing. I want to keep it exactly how they gave it to me, but add my flavor to it.
I mean, that's what makes it special. And that's what makes some of those cards stand out. Like you said, he's fully dressed and swagged out for the era.
It's crazy. Crazy. Big khakis on, everything.
It's nuts when you see it. Now there's 19 other artists that are doing this project with you. Is there anybody that's like, I mean, and the cool thing is that everybody kind of keeps each other on each other's toes, right? Because there's always that like, damn, he stepped that up. We've got to do that. Is there any specific artists that you've seen that you've been like, okay, wow, they've taken it to another level? Who's been the you know, beyond, you know, not speaking on your cards, but who's an artist that you've been really impressed by their 2020 prints so far?
Well, shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the artists. And I've been impressed with everybody's because some of the artists I never followed. So now that I'm seeing their art, I'm like, damn, he's sick. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely got to shout out Mr. Cartoon, the OG. You know what I mean? Ben Baller stuff is really dope. I like Gregory Sif stuff. He looks like he puts a lot into his stuff.
Gregory's the truth, man. He painted actually our shop in LA. Shout out to the Cards and Coffee crew out there. He came.
Okay. I seen that too. Spot looks amazing, man.
You gotta come bless it when you're out here.
Come on, you already know.
Let's go. You heard it.
Who else?
People are saying in the chat.
Chicago Don.
Yeah, Don C. It was dope to see him a part of it. People are saying in the chat, F. Dot. Who else we got? Yeah, there's some killer ones.
I like a lot of them, man. I just can't think of everybody's name right now.
There's too many. All right. Any specific cards that stand out that when you saw it, you were like, when somebody did or flipped something different that wasn't yours? What's one? Is there any memorable cards from somebody else? Where, I mean, we have, for example, I mean, the first one was I think the Bin Baller Ichiro, right? And that kind of
that was crazy. That was crazy because it was kind of like, if you know, like the old Master P CDs.
Yeah, that's what Tunes was saying.
It just brought me back to the whole No Limit CD covers and all that. I was like, damn, that's dope. Again, Cartoon. His he got so many of them joints, dog. It's so detailed. Like some cards is like sick, and some of them is like, whoa. You know, I mean,
anything Cartoon touches, I mean, he's just the OG. I mean, he's the GOAT. So, like,
shout out the Cartoon, man. Shout out the Cartoon.
Yeah, man. But you're up there. Like, people, come on. Like, people are loving it. Shout out to everybody rocking with us right now. We are live up here. Topps Project 2020, the artist interview series. I'm DJ Skee, live from Los Angeles, live from NYC at Bleecker Trading. It is none other than King Saladeen. Let's give away another card in the chat right now.
Okay.
All right. I don't think, did we give JD Lewis one? If not, we're going to give JD Lewis one because he called you the GOAT. So he gets one in there.
Yeah, he need a card. Give him two.
We'll give you two if not. Let's see. Yeah, people are talking about, man, there's so many dope cards in this series. You only got a couple left. Is it going to be weird when you don't have to wake up and rush to do a deadline to get a card out, right? Like after 2020 ends?
Yeah, it's been like crazy, bro. And it's something now when it's women down to the end, it's like they're telling me like it's getting shorter for me to be able to create, which is dope. You know what I mean? It's like put me on a test. But I'm with it, man. It's like, it is what it is.
That's what's up. Let's give one to Shelly Smith too. Shouts out, who says you're the truth.
That's my dad.
What?
Give him something. Give him something.
He gets it just off GP. Shout out to Shelly Smith. We'll choose somebody else too. We'll give
Dad, what up?
We'll give one to, let's give one to Vladimir Vivas in the Chi-Town repping out there on the YouTube chat. And let's Octavio C305. Hook me up. Love his work. We got you, Octavio. We've given away a bunch of cards. We still got more to come up here. So we're having a good time, man. So
yeah, that's lit.
All right, we've got this print coming up. Let's talk Derek Jeter for a second. I'm gonna hold this up again. This is the real reason we're here. It's out right now. You can go to topps.com. Let's talk about what I'm holding up. Let's get into the design on it first. And it looks so sick as a big print too.
Wow, thank you. Okay, so the design behind it, I just wanted to represent New York. You know, I'm a Philly dude. So when I first started coming to New York, it was with my best friend JP. And I just wanted to get those vibes and that inspiration. And like when I felt like when I was leaving Philadelphia and I was getting, coming over to North Jersey and you see the city before you get there, like I wanted to get that feeling in this card. I wanted to put some PCNY into the card. Just all my inspirations from New York. You know what I'm saying? So that was the inspiration behind that. The Big Apple, the city, the stadium, Jeter just being one of the coolest dudes ever.
Yeah, just that
Respect,
swag.
respect. It was too easy. It was kind of too easy. And it was an early card too. So this was literally like me like working in the studio, painting and like doing backgrounds and different chalk layouts and then sending it over to digital. So I was just learning how to get these cards to look the way I seen them in my head. It was so hard because it went from hand to digital, taking good shots of stuff and then sending it. It was crazy, man. But Derek Jeter, I really love that card, man.
Man,
In the print now.
it's such a dope card and such a dope print too. And people are bringing up good points in the chat, right? Like the last print last month, $1,400, same edition or same size. So you guys are getting a steal right now if you can go grab those. So grab them before they're too late at Topps.com. And what I love about this card specifically is that you left the original like Jeter pose that's famous from that Topps rookie card, but you changed the background and what you put up with the buildings in the background in New York City with the apple. So you were able to, this is the perfect definition. I think it was like if you were to show an example of what Project 2020 is, this is the perfect kind of case study where it's mixing the old and the new. And that's what really started a lot of the madness as people are reminding me, right? Like that's when print numbers started going through the roof. And that's when this became something from, it's been fun watching this whole campaign grow. Cause when it first launched, like the print runs were, in the low thousands and, started off as people were getting used to it. And by the middle of it, we were seeing six figures print runs on some of these cards. It's just,
it got crazy.
It got so crazy, man. How is this whole like, how does this open you up to this whole baseball card scene in the world of baseball card collectors?
Yo, it's amazing, man. I'm sitting right now in Bleecker, you know what I'm saying? In Bleecker
Yeah.
trading.
Yeah.
It's just kind of crazy, man. So it's a whole different world. And my biggest thing is I just want to soak it all up, and I'm just honored to be able to have the opportunity to put my spin on things a little bit, you know what I mean? But I just want to just be on top of what I'm doing too. So it's just unreal. I never knew none of this stuff existed. I had homies that, collected basketball cards and wrestling cards and all kinds of stuff like that, but I never got into it. I was more like, playing sports. I never really was like, I wanted a Michael Jordan card.
Yeah.
It's different. I don't know. It was never big where I was from. So for me to, get introduced through art now and just be able to have these opportunities, it's like crazy, bro. Like it's hard to even express it, man, because it's like every day is something new. And it's like now I'm getting turned on to Pokemon cards. I'm like, well, what is going on?
Bro, the whole card scene is so insane. Shout out to everybody that's joining us in the hobby. And yeah, that's a testament, right? Like you're seeing new stores open up, like Bleecker Trading, which, is something that came around in the pandemic and based on the popularity and it's a modern day card shop. Same with what we're trying to do with Cards and Coffee in LA. We're trying to create, a card shop for a whole new generation, this next generation, and people like yourselves, right? Like it's a different vibe and a different feel. It's almost like what a lot of the shoe and sneaker boutiques. And that's what's, what a lot of the card scene reminds me of is kind of the sneaker game, right? With like hints, there's like the collectible portion and investment portion, like the art game as well, which is insane.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy, dog. Like what I've seen in the last, I'm gonna say because we was while this was going on, we was locked down. Like we was like locked down. So the last 3-4 months, it's been crazy. The people I've met, the people I've talked to about doing other cards. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's just unreal, man. Like and now I can teach my son. So all of these cards, I'm stashing King Griffey's for my son. You know what I'm saying right now, and other artists' cards too. It's a lot. Like I'm grabbing like everybody's cards just cause. You know what I mean? Just cause it's like this is a time in life right now, dog, where it's like we're gonna talk about this 50 years from now. Hopefully, we all still here. You know what I'm saying? But this is deep.
And I have a feeling that, Project 2020 is going to set off a much larger trend and even more crossover between art, culture, sports, collecting cards. And this is going to be the project when people look back in time that really did that. And what's interesting too, for people don't realize, for the artists, you're buying and ordering a lot of these back for yourselves and stuff too, right? Like,
of course. Just because you have the opportunity to do it, and we're also doing signed cards and it's kind of crazy, man. I got the whole hood buying cards right now.
You know what's so
The
crazy? Like,
whole hood is buying baseball cards and like bear cards. It's like
it's
I ain't never seen nothing like it in my life.
it's not. Speaking of Philly, shout out to my boy Kuhn, who actually works with Meek Mill and all those guys. He's been getting deep into the card game and stuff too. Like
Okay,
it's
okay.
crazy to see the people getting into it. Even in the chat, there's somebody saying ABC Soccer Girl saying that she loves the bonding experience with her boyfriend that they're collecting together. So it's dope to see like this
Oh,
people
that's so
together.
nice.
Now they
That's
better
what's up.
stay together,
Yeah.
otherwise there's gonna be some arguments over who walks away with the cards. So wouldn't want to be around for that stuff.
Definitely not.
Now,
Definitely not.
now I want to talk about your story a little bit too, because people might just be coming in here that are familiar with the card game. You've been doing crazy work on there, but cards are probably not the craziest thing that you've put your art on. I want to talk about, and you mentioned PSNY. We talked about, or PCNY. We talked about a lot of the other projects that you have. But
Yeah.
I mean, it stands out too, and we've seen this. I remember Art Basel when you started touching some of these vehicles out there and stuff.
Oh yeah,
And
it's crazy.
man, the most expensive car, when people think of, if somebody was like to be like, hey, what's the most expensive or prestigious car in the world? They're probably going to say a Bugatti. Now, last thing most people would ever do is let anybody even like touch that car, let alone paint that. I want to talk about a little on what you've been doing on the card side and on the car side,
Yeah.
because I just think it's so crazy and so cool, and there's a lot of parallels with all these worlds.
Yeah. So shout out to PCNY, man. So a couple years ago, I'm managed by PCNY right now, and I've been managed for the last 5-6 years. So they're a car concierge service. They do all kinds of crazy rallies and just everything. So I've always loved cars, but I never got to see none of these in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You might see a Lamborghini pass you on the E-way, and then you
yeah,
going crazy, kind of like trying to see it, But prior to me coming up to New York and things like that, I've never really been around these amazing exotic cars. So it happened maybe about, I think like my first car was probably like 2014 that I did. So it was probably like, I think it was the Rolls Royce Ghost. The most expensive car was the Bugatti Chevron. It was like super exclusive,
yeah.
3.5 million. No. The Pagani. I did a Pagani.
Did you do a Pagani? Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we worked on the Pagani. Shout out to Sparky. We worked on the Pagani for Art Basel 2000. What was it? 18?
That's
17?
wild, bro.
It's all a blur now, bro. But like 2017, 18, one of those years, we worked on a few cars. It's been, man, listen, man. It's
So
just
did
like
you
the cards, bro. I don't know. Somebody said, yo, could you
so
do
when
my car? And I said, yeah.
so you
That's how I
start off
started.
so when you start off selling t-shirts, quitting your job because you're going to go into art, did you ever dream that you'd be touching the most iconic baseball cards,
Never.
touching the most expensive cars in the world that I don't think anybody else would ever dare even think of?
Never.
Man, did you know that all this stuff, that your life was going to be this?
Nah. Of course you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Nah. But I did know that like whatever I get myself into, I'm
Yeah.
going to take it I'm going to go. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to stop at like any type of roadblock. You feel what I'm saying? So once I left my job, I already told myself I'm gonna have to do a bunch of stuff I'm gonna be uncomfortable with
Yeah.
before it gets to anywhere near this point. You feel what I'm saying? So I was okay with it. I was cool. Like once you have a job and you get told what to do and things like that to an entrepreneur, it's like that's the lowest it can kind of go. So other than that, if I'm in control of my destiny, it's over. I go through the the BS. It's all gonna work out at the end. I just had to give myself a shot.
Yeah, man. And speaking of that, other projects too, I know we got to give a shout out because I just got an early pair. They dropped Saturday.
Hey,
What we got right here?
that is the Museum Runner. That's a collaboration between me and Theodore Official, in Garrison. So that's a exclusive drop at Foot Locker. So that's a Philadelphia community program project that's very limited and it's going for the people in Philadelphia. So I'm gonna try to stash a few for some friends. Skee. I had to throw you
I
some. You know what I
appreciate it,
mean?
man. I'm honored and humbled, and that's one thing that I think is so dope about you. And a lot of people are talking about this in the chat as we speak too. Is how involved you are with the community, and how much you give back, and how you're doing things to uplift that and to give to a place that you came from. Why is that so important to you?
I mean, I think it's important, period, because I never had somebody to look at like that. You know what I mean? I seen a lot of people go to the NBA, maybe go to the NFL. And if they did come back to the hood when I was a little kid, it was just like something that the company, like a sneaker company, made them do. And soon it was over, it was like, skirt. It wasn't no like shaking hands, was no inspiration, wasn't no like, yeah, young boy, you can be big too. It was never that vibe. So you know, I played sports real heavy. So I always thought as a kid, if I go to the NBA, this is what I'm gonna do. So I just took that mindset outside of sports, and you know, the art really became super inspirational because it wasn't a lot of black kids or
Yeah.
kids from Philadelphia really thinking about, yo, I can be a creator. I'm not just saying art, I'm saying creator. You can be somebody who designs baseball cards. That's art, but it's not a painter. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not the typical what you would think. So I'm just trying to open up, you know, eyes to people who don't really see much. You feel what I'm saying? Like I had to play AAU basketball and all kinds of stuff to see outside my hood to be like, oh, it's palm trees somewhere in this world. You know what I'm saying? Because other than that, it's TV. And it's like, no, that's just TV. Like you really don't think palm trees are somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, it's, it's just crazy. I kind of lost train of thought, what you were saying.
Oh man, you're on point. I mean, just this stuff is crazy. We actually, let's take a second and do a couple giveaways. So let's do another
Okay.
one in the YouTube chat. Shout to the homie, the Mad Villain. We're gonna hook him up with a card, and let's do another one in Twitch right now for, let's see, Jizza73, since he's out and he's asking what your next card is and if you can give us a teaser, because we're actually going to give him the next card, because that's what we're giving. We can't actually go back in time because the print runs are capped. So all the people that we're giving cards away from are going to be for King Saladeen's next card. So Jizza73, we're going to hook you up with one in the chat. What's a sneak preview you can give us on that next drop from King Saladeen?
It's the Rivera.
Ooh.
That's why I was talking to you about it. Like, it's kind of killing me right now. That joint got to be done by, I think, by Tuesday. What's the day? Tuesday. Yeah. So I'm like, you know, I got like 15 other variations, but I got to pick one, and it's hard, man. It's everyone is hard to just, I don't know. So Rivera's next.
It's tough. All right, let's go back. I want to ask you about a couple more designs too. And also I think we're going to break open a box. And I think that I got an idea for the giveaway. We're trying to figure out how to do this giveaway of the print, because we're going to give away one of the incredible prints that's behind you, the Derek Jeter one that's out right now, Topps.com. We're going to open up a box of Topps Chrome Bin Baller cards. So I think we will let people in the chat name a player. And if whoever they name first that we get to will win the entire print. So we'll make it fair and random that way. So there'll be luck of the draw. So meaning if somebody says Mike Trout, and Mike Trout is the card that's pulled early on before somebody calls another player, they will get the print. So we'll kind of flip it that way. But
that works.
I'll pull up this card now. East Coast Iron Man,
Kyle Ripken.
1982 Topps traded baseball, Cal Ripken Iron Man card, signature across it. I love the inspiration. I love what you did to my favorite thing is what you did to the Oriole on the bottom of that too.
Yo, I love that Oriole. You're so crazy because I love the Orioles being a kid. My grandmother bought me a Mitchell & Ness Orioles jacket, and I was probably like in the 8th grade, and I left it on a train. It was like $500, bro. My grandma bought it for me, and I left it on the train. And I just always remember like that jacket was so dope. So when this card came up, it just hit me like, oh, I got to kill this car. I left my jacket. I still was mad about that I left my jacket on the train. I swear to God, bro. So the inspiration behind that was just like, you know, I've been to Baltimore. I've been to their stadium before. I forget while I went to the Orioles stadium, but I went there before. I remember going down there eating great seafood. Yeah. You know, I got friends in Baltimore and stuff like that. So, and I love the color scheme. So it was just crazy. I just had to read up on Kyle a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And just went with how I felt.
It's wild, man. It's such a cool card, and such a I mean, the whole project is so awesome, and I loved it. And yeah, it's the little details for me that stand out, because what makes something great is it's like a remix, right? Like you flip it, you keep the original, but you add your own style and flavor. So you're able to take something iconic and do it. And that's what's been so dope about this just entire series in general, right? Like
definitely.
It's amazing. Shout out to the homies at Top. Shout out to everybody that's rocking with us too. We are here live. King Saladeen, DJ Skee, live from Los Angeles. He is live at Bleecker Trading in the heart of NYC. Now, have any players or athletes hit you up to do stuff now that they've seen this, all these cards. You know, I'm sure you got a lot of new friends that are asking you to get hooked up and stuff. Has there been anybody that's hit you up as a surprise, or anybody
Uh,
that, you know, saw some of the stuff and saw the card stuff?
well, I'm gonna definitely shout out, Deshaun Watson. That's my dog. You know what I'm saying? We just dropped our Texans card. Be legendary. It's set up through his foundation, my foundation. It's just
Always giving
super dope.
back.
PCNY, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy Brian. Like,
Yeah.
we was literally going crazy in Texas like 2 weeks ago, bro. Major rally, raised a bunch of money for the kids in Texas. It was dope, man. So gotta shout out to Sean, because that's like he family, and we working on a bunch of stuff right now. So
It's so dope.
him.
It's so deep to dope to see just all these cultures and things happening. I mean, does it the card scene just feels like it's on fire right now, right? Like as a whole culture.
Yeah, it's like an underworld. It's like some like secret society. It's like I'm just glad to be a part of it, man. Seriously.
Man, you're in the heart of it. And now we got and now it's, you know, all these cards that you're making, like you're gonna make more off of the long term holding these than you were from from even the prints and stuff, which is
That's kind
crazy,
of
right?
that's kind of crazy, man. It's all a blessing, bro. Because it's like last year, this time, well, probably not this time, but last year, my
Yeah.
biggest thing was I wanted to work on something that was like a small price point. You know what I'm saying? But very like still like dope, still some type of investment, some type of, you know what I'm saying? So when this came about, it was like perfect, because a lot of my friends at this point that I am doing art, a lot of them, unfortunately can't buy original piece. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is something that got everybody like
Yes.
into what I got going on. You know what I'm saying? So that was a blessing for like all kids, just anybody that was able to like start collecting and just really get into this, and eventually they'll elevate and get a print, and then you know what I'm saying, something they can grow with.
And you know what's so dope about these too is that one, they're accessible to everybody. Anybody can purchase them. And
Yeah,
you also, when you purchase them, not only are you getting a dope card and a piece of art, but there's a gold one that's out there that everybody has an equal opportunity to get. Even you, right? Like I know a lot of artists are out there saying like, yo, if you find the
get
gold one,
none.
I'll buy it from you. So like you're
I
not
haven't
even
got
getting
none.
it. So anybody in this chat that's buying any of these, I know there's been cards that I've really liked and I bought multiple of them just to hope to land on that gold one. So
Right, right. I know somebody that's getting like all the gold ones, bro. And I'm just like, how is this dude so lucky? But
Yo, it's wild. It's
unreal.
wild. It's
Unreal.
wild. There's a lot of money and people dropping big money for it. Anyways, one other thing I want to touch on too. You see it behind me. I want to talk about the whole idea and concept and meaning with the JP Money Bear. So it's behind me, and here's the box we got up close.
Hey.
And we got the dollar bills up here too.
I love the
So
setup. I was gonna say that, man. I love this setup, bro. It's crazy.
we try, man. We try. We try to make the most of it since we couldn't be together in person with travel due
Right.
to COVID. So that's why we coast to coast, but still repping. But JP Money Bear has such a dope story behind it. Do you want to break it down for some of those that may be new to the Saladeen brand and not familiar with the history
Yeah,
there?
yeah, definitely. So JP the Money Bear is one of the, things that most people know me for, other than, other works and things like that. But this is somewhat of my Nike sign, my Apple, my logo. So JP the Money Bear is based off of my best friend who passed away from cancer in 2013. And he was like one of my biggest cheerleaders, one of my biggest motivations. He was the one that took me to New York and was pretty much like, hey, this is where you need to be at. You need to quit your job. You need to. So he was like the person that was like pushing me toward what's going on now, but I ain't see it. Like personally, I didn't see it, bro, because I've never seen it before. You know what I'm saying? So it's really hard to believe in something that you never seen before. But with him being around me, dog, him being like my best friend through probably from 15 to when he passed away, you know what I'm saying? Like he was the one that was really pushing me toward all this stuff, man. Got me my first art sets, bought a painting for his sister, you know what I'm saying? Like when she moved into a really nice crib. So he was really my motivation, man. So I just wanted to make sure throughout all of this, I kept his name alive. You know what I'm saying? Because without him pushing me, bro, I would have been okay with just, working a good job, not having a nice car. Dog, he motivated me to see more and just really, think that Lamborghini dreaming, that Ferrari dreaming, like these things exist not because they're not around our way. They do exist though. So he was the one just like pouring all this stuff into me, bro. So and he was also the one that said I needed a logo. You know what I mean? Because I was
Yeah.
an abstract artist. So he was saying I don't know that's your work. If I was in Africa, I wouldn't know that that was your abstract piece. But if you had a logo or something that everybody knew you by,
Yeah.
you could flip it black, blue, green, orange. So he was telling me all of this brand recognition stuff before I even knew what brand recognition was. I was just buying it. I was just a consumer. You see what I'm saying? So when he passed away in 2013, I had already quit my job. I was already in the midst of pursuing what we always talked about, what we always was visioning. So um it was really like a cross point. It was like when he passed away, I was devastated. You know what I'm saying? You lose your best friend to cancer and he never been sick. It wasn't even like, you know, he had chemo for months and then he passed. It was like, bro, I got a headache. I'm about to go to the hospital. I can't sleep for 2 days, this, and that. It was one of those situations where he went to the hospital because I guess the pain was just too much for him to just deal with and go about regular life. And I was in LA at the time. So I get a phone call. It's from his sister. And they said they admitted him and they found like some kind of like mass on his brain. So
Oh
he
man.
had brain cancer. So I'm telling you, dog, this is the craziest shit ever. It was like I get a call from him. Yo, my head hurt. Then I fly back to Philly once he gets admitted to the hospital. And maybe a week, 2 weeks later, he passed away, bro. And every day I'm going up there to talk to him and see him after surgery, after surgery. And it was just like, damn. So it was a point in time where I was just like, I can kind of be bitching, excuse my language, or
Yeah.
I can kind of be like, oh, I'm gonna just go get high. I'm gonna go get like real drunk and just try to, or I can go impregnate everybody and take all my frustrations out. You feel what I'm saying? There's so
Yeah.
many different ways you can go about losses and just life. And I just was like, yo, I'm gonna use this shit as motivation because he'll wake up from the grave and really be like, for real, bro, you really bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? So I just knew it. And it took a while. It took a while. You feel what I'm saying? And then I just was using it as motivation. All our talks, all our ideas. Yo, you need to be in New York. I took my ass back to New York. You feel what I'm saying? Because it was like the blueprint was already laid for me, but I had to really see it that way instead of just like, oh, my best friend, how I'm going to do this and I want to be miserable today. Nah, man. So I brought that energy to the art game. I'm self-taught, never went to school for art. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is all a blessing, bro. So I gotta let this dude name be known. I gotta bring out toys. I gotta do all kinds of things, man. And he's one of the biggest reasons that I do the give back. And you know, we give out turkeys on Thanksgiving. We give out book bags on every school. You know, things are a little crazy now, but when school's always in, you know what I mean? So I learned all that from JP and PCNY. Giving back. If you bless others, bro. And it just come back. It just come back. And you're not looking for it to come back,
It
but
does,
it
man.
just happens in all types of different looks of life, man. But JP, rest in peace. His birthday was November 3rd. It was just recently too. So it's crazy, man. It's almost 10 years I done left my job, bro. And it's like I'm doing baseball cards. Like, what?
Crazy. It's,
Come on, man.
what a story, and it's so dope too because you're involved, and that's a great backdrop in you know to hear about and see while you're doing with the CMI Charity Foundation with all the different projects that you have, giving back for the holidays, whether it's Thanksgiving or just any time of year. It's so dope and so important for anybody out there that makes it to because it's not about what we do, it's about inspiring the next generation so they can be
Facts.
better than us, right?
Definitely. Big facts, man. Big
Thank
facts.
King Saladin. I got one more card, and then we're gonna do this giveaway after and open that box. But I pulled out
Okay.
one. Since we in LA right now, you in New York, it's only right we do a Brooklyn Dodgers, right?
Hey, Koufax.
I know we got some Dodgers fans out there in the building. I love this card. I mean, this just looks so ill. I love the black backdrop that you did with it, the Brooklyn Bridge. Talk about the design and the inspiration for the Sandy Koufax
Um,
Project 2020 1955 tops.
it's so crazy, man. Shout out to everybody from LA because in my comments before I did the Koufax, they was like, you got to make sure you put LA in there because of the merger. I didn't know all of this. You feel what I'm saying? I was going to go 100% Brooklyn until I started, you know, doing a little more research,
Yeah,
listening to people. And, you know, I love the card, man. The Brooklyn Bridge. And then it has LA in the clouds, pretty much like in the waiting. It was just crazy, bro. I don't know. It was an easy card. I love the color scheme. The black, I went off of the, you know, the signature, the bridge, and I was just like, I gotta do a black border. I don't know, man.
yeah. The black border
it's
makes
a
it
vibe,
pop, dude. Black border,
okay.
and it's interesting because black borders on cards are generally rare because they're so tough to keep in pristine and good condition, right? Because a white card, like if it hits a little chip, if it sits there, you grab it wrong, it's all right. A black card, everything shows. I mean, lucky these come in such great cases, so it's not going to
Easy
happen in
cases.
there, but you don't generally see a lot of black borders. And you did that with Cal. You did that with a couple of the other cards, and it looks up. And even the pink border too, like with Gibson and some of those is super, super sick.
So it's a great way for me to just challenge myself, man. Like every card is a challenge. I've never felt like that with any project. Like, you know, from cars, from exotic cars and things like that to it's definitely a mind blower, but every card is such a different personality, such a different player, such a different energy. And it's like just to bring that to the cards, it's like that's what I'm trying to accomplish every player.
Absolutely. You've been doing it. And again, we are here because of the Topps 2020. This is the Artist Series. I'm DJ Skee. Tonight, we are excited because we're going to give away what's in my hands right now.
That Derek Jeter print.
Derek Jeter print you see him behind King Saladeen. Why don't you grab that box? Let's open. We're going to open up a pair of or a box of the Ben Baller Topps Chrome Edition. What's so ill about Ben is how he flipped it and did it for the whole series, right? And how there's all like, you know, it's that old school limit. So here's what we're going to do. I saw you guys listing some names in the chat a little earlier. I'm going to write starting now. So write the player after when I hit starting now. And again, if somebody said like, for example, let's use a Minnesota Twin, Jose Barrios, and he pops up before any other players mentioned, that person is going to get the print. So start now. We'll go for it. We'll give you guys a second to list those names out there. We're doing this on Twitch right now. We're going to give away another card right now to, let's see, John 055 MBA on YouTube. We're going to give you another one of King Saladeen's next Project 2020 cards. You guys can all start now. We're seeing names. We got King Griffey Jr., Clemente, Kyle Lewis. Now you got to take cards that are in this Ben Baller pack. There might not be some of those in there. So it's current players. So Luis Robert, that's a good one. I actually got Luis Robert, Topps Finest flashback behind me. Hold on. Y'all got to check this out.
The best breaker. Like let's get this
for all you baseball card fans. This
I'm
is
not the best breaker. Sorry.
You're good. This is one of my prize cards this year. Shout to Topps for baseball finest, which crushed it. But let's bring in somebody from Bleecker Trading with King Saladeen. We're gonna open these boxes up.
Come on, help me out, man. I'm sweating up here, man.
No, they don't want it like you. Like, yo, it's a fine art breaking. Like, you can't, like, when I started breaking and like when I open stuff on camera without the right gloves and stuff, people get mad. People take it serious. So
we need gloves. We need gloves.
No,
right now.
we're good. We're gonna keep it low key tonight.
All right.
We're not that serious.
Before we break, I definitely want to give Ben Baller a shout out because this is very dope in Topps. The packaging is amazing. I'm excited, man. This is crazy. Let's go.
Let's go. All right. So let's see who we got. We got a lot of names in there. So it might take us a second to figure out. Let's see what the first card is.
Logan Webb from the San Francisco Giants.
Nobody. Oh, wait, hold on. Somebody called him. Somebody called Logan Webb.
No.
Did they?
Yes. Hold on. They got right away. I was like, there's no way anybody called Logan Webb. Where was it? I just saw it in the chat. Let me find where it was. We got too many people. Here we go. Damn. ABC Soccer Girl called out Logan Webb. So ABC Soccer Girl, she's the one that we shouted out earlier who was collecting with her boyfriend.
First card.
So
that was crazy.
Have to fight over this.
Oh, wow. So, okay. Well, let's go.
Okay.
Congratulations. All right, we're just going to open some for fun now. You know what? Actually, we'll go with the next one. We'll give away one of Saladeen's next card. It won't be the print, but we'll give away the next card.
Okay.
Brock Burke from the Texas Rangers. We have Carter Kaboom from the Washington Nationals. And Shohei Ohtani from the Angels.
Let's see.
Hey.
We got some big cards. We breaking up here.
I don't know if LA loves the Angels, but you know.
These cards are crazy too.
It's crazy.
Topps did a great job with these. It's chrome plus a little bit.
Super sick.
Yeah. Chris Bryant from the Chicago Cubs.
I know somebody called him out.
Chi-Town.
So, you know what? Since that's the first pack of the new one, we'll see whoever got Chris Bryant. Let's see who called out Chris Bryant. I'm sure somebody had to do that, right? Especially since his contract coming up next year. You're gonna get some money. Let's see.
Brian.
We're gonna have to go back through the
Brian Anderson from the Marlins. We have Jacob deGrom from the New York Mets. And Luis Arias from the Minnesota Twins.
There we go. That's my guy. Shout out to Luis, all the twins. The only rule in this is that I get all the twins cards. Anyways, we got
a guy, right, Skee?
Exactly. We got to get a jet off in a second, but you guys can continue that over on at Bleecker Trading. So make sure you go follow them and follow King Saladeen. They're going to continue open some of those boxes over there while we sign out over here on the Dash Radio side and the Card House side. King Saladeen, it's been an absolute pleasure sitting and talking with you, hearing your story, hearing the story behind the incredible art that you've been doing with Topps for Project 2020, and also how involved you are with the community. You're an inspiration to all of us, and the artwork is phenomenal. So thank you for putting on, bro.
Thank you, Skee. It's an honor to be on your platform, man. Thank you, and I can't wait to come out to LA, man. We're gonna party.
Absolutely. First of many things. We got to find some other collaborations to do. Again, big shout out to Topps. Huge shout out to Bleecker Trading for letting us host this stream and doing it in store.
Shout out to Bleecker.
Exactly. Shout to Mark, Oren, Tim, everybody over at Topps, everybody that's been involved in putting this together. And most importantly, shout to everybody in the hobby and all the people in the chat, everybody that's listening, that's watching globally, that's made this possible and made this project bigger than anything else in this scene for years and years. It's so dope to see that. Huge shout to PCMY, of course, and out there. King Saladeen, it's been a pleasure, man. I hope you have a safe trip back to Philly.
Definitely. Thank you, man. Thank you so much, man. I just want to shout out Topps, shout you out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out everybody that's on live right now, on, you know what I'm saying, on the platform. And just thank you for supporting me with everything from a t-shirt to cards to whatever else might go on, the toys and everything, man. It's definitely it's this dream come true, man. I just want to thank everybody, like, seriously.
Hell yeah, let's get it. The print is out right now. Go grab them before they're sold out. These are going to go up in money. Now, if you know about art prints, just look up the price. He's humble. He's a humble man, but look up how much King Saladeen art is going for, and you'll see how much you're getting a value for this. And this card, especially if you're like a Yankees fan, you have to go buy it before it sells out. That's my personal and professional opinion on especially just from not only, I mean, the great thing about it is something you can invest in and hang on your wall. That's what's so dope.
Yeah, it's like a dope investment. Like, you can't go wrong. A dope investment? Come on, ain't too many of them in the world, man.
You love it. We'll see you every Tuesday and Thursday with the Topps 2020 Artist Series. Episode 2 is a wrap. King Saladeen, we are out.
My brother, thank you.